Good evening. Good evening. How's everybody doing this evening? Oh, and I need to mute over there. There we go. Got that muted. Put this down here because it makes me look like I got this huge hand in there. Let me put this down because I don't need the keyboard. And y'all saw I went live earlier today. Thought I would try doing a live instructional, and boy, is there a learning curve to that. Uh, yeah, working on the views. Couple things I need to think about before I do that again. Um, the background for the yarn and the color choices I use. So definitely a learning curve. I was going to pull it down and edit that out, but I'll leave it up there because there is definitely a learning curve to it. And yeah, not too proud to admit that it takes a bit to learn how to do. Well, will you stop it? Everything has a learning curve to it. I figured there might be a little difficulty with the angle because of the way that one stitches. I just didn't factor in, the color of the yarn against the background in a few things. So there will be a little bit more prep I'll need to do for the next time. And I'm definitely going to have to dig up my little tripod to put the cam on. That or switch over and work in the kitchen. Won't be as comfortable sitting in there on my kitchen chair. But get down. But I'll have to work on that. So but that's good. It was a small little project, so it wasn't a big thing. But it gave me some things to think about for how to do that. Because I will do it again. I just have to work out some kinks and put some more thought into some things that I didn't think about beforehand. But hey, you only learn these things when you do it. A little bit of trial by error. I didn't have any other uh, crocheters to talk to. That do live tutorials. I didn't have any others to talk to about, and get tips and pointers from. So doing a little bit of flying blind there, and that's okay because sometimes I learn better from making mistakes like that. And if I learned something, was it really a mistake? I don't think so. So I'm still good with it. So I am still good with that. So yeah. So anyway, so we got Brule and Meow Meow jumped up here. You saw they jumped up here right as we started. Coming up here and keeping me company, I guess, until somebody else pops in here to keep me company. I have Titanic playing in the background. I was going to put something else on, and that popped up in the top features. And Bliss Chris had mentioned that the other day and got me thinking. And she mentioned it, and then all of a sudden my feed was showing all kinds of Titanic stuff. And it's like, oh, what the hell? I'll go ahead and pop it in. I haven't watched it in a while. And as a funny note, Rosie Posey over here, she got her name because of Titanic, because of Rose in Titanic. She was when she was a kitten, it was the day after the rest of the her siblings had left. She was running across the room, leapt up a couple feet up. You know how kittens are if you have cats. Couple feet up to jump up on the cat tower. And this all happened in slow motion. She had hang time. I thought for sure she was going to miss it. And she hit the tower, jumped up, and to make it easier for me to collect the other 8 kittens and the moms without them hiding under the queen size bed, I wanted to catch them quick with a little stress. I had put the bed up against the wall. She climbed up the cat tower, jumped up on the bed, and ran across. And the way she did that, the only thing that came to mind was a line from Titanic that I had just watched days earlier. And the only thing that came to mind was, Rose, you're so stupid. Where Rose jumped off the dinghy onto the side of the ship to get back to Jack. And the line, Rose, you're so stupid, because of the way she, almost missed the cat tower. And calling her Rose, you're so stupid would have been really mean, don't you think? So that's how she got Rosie Posey. Well, Rose, and then because everybody says rhymes with kittens, it ended up being, Rosie Posey Schmitten Kitten, because, that's just the way it goes with kittens. And shortly, it'll just end up being Rosie, because calling her stupid, silly, rhyming kitten names won't work on her for much longer. Because she's almost a big girl now. She's right about 10 months old. But yeah, so it's because of Titanic that she has her name, and it just fits her. I mean, you guys have all seen her being annoying up here all the time. Yes, and I'm sure that's what you all really wanted to know. Hey, Brandy. Hey, I saw your message about not being here. Hey, you get here when you get here. But I appreciate you letting me know, about not being here. But, so she got a wet spot on her. I saw a flea on her, earlier. No, I think it was last night. So, oh, you didn't get your flea meds because you ran out on me today. Where did I put your flea meds while you're up here? I put it over here. Where did I put it? She slipped out. She saw I had flea meds here and she slipped out on me. Oh, here it is. There you go. There we go. Yes, I had to go get the flea meds. They weren't due to get them for 2 days. It's not going to make a difference, but now you got your flea meds on you. Huh. There you go. Never had a problem with fleas, but this year, I've added 2 cats in the last year, so, and then with all the kittens I had in here last fall, so I guess I was bound to get punished and have some flea issues this year. So my goal is to, okay, get off me for now. My goal is to put some coin aside and only this room, only this floor of the house has carpeting in it. So my goal is to get carpeting redone before fall. And when I redo all the carpeting, I'll be able to do a really, really good heavy duty flea treatment. Really? You know, because I could flea treat everything else, but and I could flea treat the carpet. But it's hard to do a really heavy duty one because I have to be real careful with what I use because of the birds. Careful too because of the cats, but even more so because of the birds. So let's see. Oh, hey, Terry. Well, you walk outside and a flea could come in on your shoes, you know, jump on your pants, on your shoes. Something that came in when I brought the kittens and their parents in last fall. So, you know, even if you don't have animals, you could still bring something in on you with you on your clothes from walking outside. So, just like you could bring infection into your house by walking through it from outside. Some things you can't control. Look how pretty she looks looking in the camera like that. You look like a queen, don't you? But you're not. This is my castle. So, same thing can happen if you have well, you have dogs. So, I mean, same thing can happen with dogs. You know, it only takes one flea to get in. You know, well you saw I just put flea treatment on them. So, but yeah, I've never had a problem with fleas until this year. You know, and it only takes one flea, and then you have fleas. So, but anyway, no big deal. Well, it's treatable. You know, I say no big deal because it's treatable. But, you know, and I'm not stressing out about, you know, the carpet and stuff. My carpet is what? It was in the house when I got it and it wasn't the best carpet, so I need to I'm overdue to replace it anyway. So it should be hardwood floors underneath. I got to see what condition they're in. It could be carpet covering up bad floors, or it could be carpet covering up floors that just need touched up. I don't know. So if the hardwood floors underneath is in good shape, I might just put like area rugs down. You have short-haired dogs with so you'd see fleas pretty quick, and all my cats are short hairs. I can't handle long-haired cats. They'll put me in asthma tax real quick because I am allergic to cats, but I can tolerate the short hairs. Hi, Heather. But their fur is still a little bit longer than yours because you have pugs, right? Pugs are Bostons. I just remember the smush face. But their fur is just a little bit longer than what you have. So a flea can hide in here pretty easy. Beardies are cute. Yeah. Fleas, everywhere I've lived, fleas have been an issue wherever I've lived. I've always had to do some sort of treatment here and there, at some point in time. Okay, Boston's. I'm sorry. I just remember you have flat faced breeds. I'm sorry. But yeah, anywhere I've lived, you always have to do something to treat for fleas and ticks, but Hawaii and Southern California were the worst. Oy, oy, oy. Always the worst. Do you mind? Out of my face? Well, hello there. Hey, Nutter Butter. So, so what you end up having for dinner, Terry? Oh yeah, friend of mine used to breed Great Pyrenees. Oh, I can imagine. Yeah, I'm not a fan of ticks. I just think Lyme's disease and Rocky Mountain spotted fever when you talk ticks. Oh, check it out. I am at 99 subs now. I hit 99 today. So it's almost time for a party. Oh, you're lucky if you've never seen one. I'm a Rottweiler person myself, but my last two dogs was a Rottweiler, and then my son, my youngest son, had bought his girlfriend a golden retriever because she really, really, really wanted it, and swore up and down she had parental permission. But my son stupidly didn't ask her mom and verify that she had parental permission. So I ended up having to keep the dog. And then they both aged out. And I can't physically handle a big dog anymore. It would totally wreck me trying to walk a big dog now. So, and I'm not a little dog person. So, but it was hard. It was hard adjusting not to having big dogs. Letting anybody that came near the house know that there was big dogs in this house. That was quite an adjustment. Because you definitely feel safer when big dogs let anybody know they're there when they come near the doors. I don't know. What do you do for a 100 sub party? Never had one. Well, I have. I just don't remember what I did. That was a long time ago. That was a long, long time ago. Oh, more children get bit by little dogs than they do by big dogs. So what do we do for 100 subs? That's pretty good too, because I've only really been going live. I mean, regularly for a little over a month, I think. So I'd have to go back and look, but I mean, I've really, I mean, really seriously, only been going live for about a month. You know, intended to start longer than that, but I mean, really didn't really hit it until like a month ago. Funny how that works. Damn. Hold on. Hey, cancel the stripper poll. Okay, I canceled the stripper poll. Thanks for that tip. So, and here I thought I might have a reason to wear my stilettos. Haven't worn them in a while. Anywho, wow. I might need to up my meds. I'm a little depressed now. Butters. Oh, that's cute. That's a cute beardy name. Hey, Nutter, there's another Butters out here. Let me go look at something real quick here. Just, oh, I just hit 100 subs. I just went and double checked, and I have officially hit 100 subs. Woo woo! Thank you. I don't know who hit it, but thank you. Watch, there's going to be a mass unsubscribe now. Somebody in their socks did that just to fuck with me, probably. I don't know. But whoever, if it's one of the lurkers in the bushes, thank you. Hey, you know what? That's okay. We could have a quiet night. Yeah, I just hit 100. I just went and looked, and it's 100. Wow, thank you. Thank you. I'll go back and look later, and we'll probably be at 50. Party. I didn't think that was going to happen, or I'd have put some party music on. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. And I am over 1,200 hours, and they can't unsubscribe and take the hours away from me. So at least those will stick tonight. So that's really cool. Ah, okay. Thank you, Shelly. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's really cool. I got cramps in my face from smiling over that. That's really cool. Make my night. Oh, wow. Yeah, my face was really cramping up over that. Wow. Oh, wow. I am seriously cramped up in my face from smiling about that. See, I don't smile enough. Wow. Oh, speaking of smiles, the dentist called me. My appointment for dental work is the end of March. But here's the thing. They're talking about doing all of that work at one time. You know, the pulling, the root canal, and I think he said there's 3 cavities. but he didn't say anything about doing the repair work as far as, doing any bridge work to repair, where the missing teeth are. So I'm like, you need to call back up to the VA and make sure that you have that as part of it, because there's supposed to be some restoration work in there too, not just you know um, ripping teeth out of my mouth. 'Cause she's like, yeah, I don't see any of that in the plan. I'm like, well, you need to make sure that that's straight too, because yeah, you're supposed to be fixing my smile too, not just you know, ripping the teeth out and doing a root canal. So um she's like, yeah, we'll check into that, and I'll get back with you. But in the meantime, we'll still keep that appointment. And I'm like, yeah, because that's far enough out that, any alterations on the plan. Plus, you won't be able to do all of that at the same time anyway, because there'll need to be healing time and stuff. And she's like, well, yeah, but we still have, that'll still give us time to get the plan updated and everything. So, but yeah, so anyway, so the dental work is moving along. So I'm all excited about that. So cool beans on that. Moving along. And I have plenty of time to mentally prepare myself to sit in a dentist chair again. So that's good. That's good. That's a subjective question, Terry. I should put my comment on the screen, by the way. Note to self, since I'm not putting them up. I say it's subjective because not all vets have VA healthcare, and they should. Thank you, Shelley. And then the VA healthcare we get the necessary care. But you don't get above and beyond. I do know some hookers, Brandy. That is awesome to say, isn't it? You don't get what's above and beyond. So I have to call the VA too and double check on the dental, because I'm not 100% sure that they're going to do bridge work unless I have more teeth that have to be pulled, which that'll really suck. So I have to double check on that. And and I don't know if they'll give me a straight answer. They may say, we'll only do that if you have such and such teeth pulled. Like they might say, oh no, we only do that if you have front teeth missing, in which case, guess which tooth is not getting a root canal and is going to get pulled instead. So, you know. Okay, Terry, I see what you're doing. Okay. Okay. I didn't think about anything like that. That's a good idea. I need to think about that tonight. And then I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that tonight, because I was only at 98 when I started this morning, and I didn't put any kind of thought into that. So I'll have to think of something for tomorrow. So I will have to think about that. Plus, I'd have to find one of those randomized drawing things, and I have a feeling you already know where one is, so you'll have to send me the information for that, and enough time to let everybody know you know, if you want to be here for that, you know, you have to be here for it. Put your name in for a drawing to celebrate. So I have to give everybody notice for something like that. So, right. I certainly appreciate that, Shelley, and tell Mike thank you, even though I have a feeling he's not aware that he did it. Yeah. Yeah, one of those, you know, wheels or randomizers or something like that. So, do you mind? So, but but yeah, and have to give everybody that helped me get there a chance to be here also. You know, because that's only fair. But let's see what else. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, maybe I'll save that for like Sunday night or something. Thank you, Brandy. And I think I could say thank you on behalf of Terry also. So let me tell you something. I learned a lot today from trying to do a live tutorial. There is a learning curve to doing crocheting live. I got to give it to the ladies that do that do live instructionals. It's not easy. You know, I've watched some shitty tutorials before, and you know, I had some of them in mind when you know I sat down to do this, and there's a lot to it. You know, there's a lot to it. I mean, I knew the camera angle with the yarn was going to be an issue, but background color on the table, and I knew yarn color would be an issue, but background color on the table, um, I was having trouble, a little bit of focusing issues on the yarn, and yeah, just a bunch of little things. So I've got some dynamics I'm gonna have to work out, and it's gonna take quite a few tries to get it right all the way. I got to find a little tripod. I know I have a tripod, a small one that I could put my camera on. Or even better yet, switch to my kitchen camera because I have an overhead camera over my cutting board in the kitchen. Um, but that's not as comfortable for me to be sitting in there if I'm doing much of a tutorial. But that would be the best place to do it because I already have an overhead camera set up in there. I just gotta, you know, shift too much shit around. Or hey, stupid, just go and get the other laptop fixed. It's while it's still under warranty. Hello. But yeah, there's some dynamics I need to work out, and I have a newfound respect for all the crocheters and knitters that do live tutorials. Oh, I'm terrified of the dentist, Brandy. I'm absolutely terrified. But so, did you guys get to see when I did that Tunisian part today? Did you get to see the Tunisian hooks that I showed? Because I showed some different Tunisian hooks. I used um I used just a regular crochet hook, but what I was doing on the crochet hook because it was small, because this is such a small little project, I was able to do it on a crochet hook, but that was actually Tunisian crochet. Hmm. Um, what I did was actually Tunisian crochet, and I usually when I do Tunisian, like if I'm doing a washcloth, I'll use Tunisian crochet hooks, which is what these are. And you can see they're very long compared to a crochet hook. And that's because you leave all your loops on the hook when you're working them. And if I'm working something that's longer, I can break out the ones that are corded. So you can see it's still this is the same size as that red hook I showed you, except this one has a long cord attached with a bulb at the end, so the hooks, so your loops don't fall off. But you can make something that's very, very long. I do not consider myself as being stuck with you, Brandy. It is my pleasure and my honor to have you here. But those are some of my older Tunisian hooks. Then I have of course, I have more. There are knitting needles if you're going to do circular knitting, like you do with socks. And I could pull those out and show them to you, but they're downstairs. I'll do that another time. But these are other Tunisian hooks. And this is a 6.5 millimeter hook. And then and instead of having a bunch of hooks with their cords attached, you just get whatever size cable you need, and this screws into the end of it. And then you have this cable, and then these cables also have a you put a damn, hold on. You put a bulb, you attach your bulb at the end, or you could add a attachment to it, and then you could add another wire to it, and you can make this as long as you need. So you could add more wires to this and make this longer as long as you need. And let me disconnect this. But this is a sturdier set. I get this put away. And this only goes up to a size 10. You see the size right there? This only goes up to a size 10. And I like the weight of it. I like the feel of it. But if I wanted to crochet something bigger, I want to kink my wires there. But if I wanted to do Tunisian with something bigger, like a thicker blanket yarn, I have bigger hooks. And this is the size 25. Most of my life, Terry. I've been crocheting since I was a kid. And here's the short one. And this is plastic, so I'm not thrilled with this. This one, I fear this one will wear out with too much use. But this also has adapters, so you can connect a bunch of these together. But this set, the only reason I got this set is because it has the get that put back in there. This has the 12, 15, wait a minute, 12, 15, 18, 20, and 25 size hook. And they do not make hooks this big in metal because it would be too heavy. If this was made in metal or even aluminum, this would be way too heavy. And this has some weight to it. But and then it's got all the other same size hooks that the metal one had. And then with the cord being plastic, you know, I don't think that would be too sturdy to use. If I was using it all the time on all my regular yarns, I think it would I'd risk wearing it out quicker if I was using it on, everything. So because it's just a plastic lace, I'd rather keep that just for when I'm using the extra large and specialty yarns, if that makes sense. Summer, we're just glad you popped in. Appreciate it. And if you fall asleep, you fall asleep. Taking care of you always, taking care of yourself always comes first around here. So, but Terry, you asked about knitting needles. I have several types of knitting needles. Of course I do. Um, I have regular ones that, where it's the two needles that you work. I have them circular knitting needles where they have the wire in between them. Um, I have them where you could change out the wire so you have different sizes. I have ones where you can't change out the wire. I have really super teeny tiny ones. Um, let's see. I can't think of what all the different styles are called besides, regular knitting needles and circulars. There are some different names for them. I just can't think of what they're all called. I have some that are super, super skinny that the only time I use them is when when I'm making the toes on socks for when I start socks. And the only time I use them is when I'm doing X. I usually use 4 at a time. School parties. So, but yeah, they're super tiny and they have their own. If you didn't notice, I have cases for just about everything. That's how I keep things separate and organized and easy to toss into a bag for whatever I'm using them for. You know, this is a set of hooks. This is one of my light up hook sets. So, like, here, I'll turn my light off and you'll see. This is my light up hook. Bright, a little less bright, and then off. And I have I have a couple different sets of light up hooks. And as I do more of this stuff around you guys, as you see me doing more of this stuff, you'll learn that I like gadgets and gizmos. And I have a lot of gadgets and gizmos, whether it's from when I'm crafting or if I'm in the kitchen. No matter what I'm doing, I have gadgets and gizmos to do whatever I want to do, because if it makes things easier for me, for whatever the reason, I adapt things so that it makes things easier for me, no matter what I'm doing, and that's just the way I am. I adapt what I can so that it works better for me. And not all gadgets, not all the gadgets I get are specifically to make things easier or to work better for me. Some gadgets I get just because, oh, that looks cool, or that looks fun, or I want to try that, When infomercials first started in the 90s, oh, those were dangerous for me. That's how I got my knitting machines when the JC Penney channel started. Yeah, that was bad. So, oh, Summer, I didn't realize you were a teacher. Thank you. Oh, I loved all the infomercials too. Back then I had one baby on the hip and was pregnant. I had just gotten out of the military. And I was staying with my grandmother while my husband at the time was going through a school, an Intel school, and Desert Shield was just starting. My unit had just shipped out. Like right after I left, my unit shipped out. That was torture, and I'm up all night, well, not all night, but I'm up glued to the TV because of that, and or nursing one baby, and bouncing back and forth between the news and infomercials. Thank you, Summer. And yeah, became an infomercial junkie, and pretty much had a lot of the products that were out back then, especially if it was arts and craft related or hair related, because I've always had a main. But yeah, that was the JC Penney shopping channel. That's how I got my 2 knitting machines. And the first holiday season, both of them were paid off many times over with all the sweaters I made. Exactly, Shelley. Nobody expects everybody to watch every video or to show up at every live. It's impossible. You know what? No, I was never big on QVC until 2 years ago. And I had gone into I don't watch QVC, but I was looking for a soup and salad bowl. In fact, I think it was that gray one that you guys that Terry, I think you liked it, the one I had for Bees Live that one time. I was looking for a soup and salad bowl, and I couldn't find any local, and I went online and looked, and I found it on QVC. And I ended up getting a few things on QVC, and got one of their cards, and for a couple months I ended up buying some things on QVC. Um, only for a couple months. I learned their schedule for free ship, because yeah, their shipping's crazy. But learned their schedule for free ship, got a few things that I wanted from them, their deals and stuff. Um, but yeah, it was mainly because the soup and salad bowls. Um, I got quite a few different sets because I like certain things. We all have our little things that we like. But yeah, I got quite a few different styles of the soup and salad bowls. Yeah, they usually once a month they have free shipping. And there is nothing they have there that I want or need that bad that I'm willing to pay their shipping. But yeah, I did that, and I got their little carpet cleaner. Yeah, I have a thing with carpet cleaning too. Sure I do. Or rather, of course I do. Um, yeah, so I got their little carpet cleaner that went on a sale, and I waited until that was available, or no, it went on sale and it was available for free ship, and it was a Shark, and I like Shark products. But yeah, so that's the extent of QVC. I'll still go over there every once in a while and check. It's like, yep, anything? Nope. So yeah, it's back on the wall there. It's just the little one that comes in handy for little pet things. Because I have I already had the big rug doctor, that it's the home version of the one that they rent out. And I also have the big Bizzle one too. Um, it's the what, the big green Bizzle. It's the size of the one that they rent out. Um, let's see what else. Yeah, not else on QVC though. But yeah, I did miss when they took away the JCPenney shopping channel. I missed that because they used to put up some nice arts and crafts stuff on there. Um, what else did I get on QVC? Oh, I got some clear kitchen storage bins with lids. Yeah, I have the little green clean machine too. Um, I burnt one of those out. I have another one, and then the Shark one came out. And like I said, I really like Shark products, and the price was right. And I'm like, yeah, I'll get it. And here I am talking about possibly getting rid of all the carpet and just having, an area rug if the hardwood floors look good underneath here. That would make sense since I have, all the carpet cleaners now. Yeah. Gotta get done. Go over there. Go in the chair. Yes, I launched my cat across the room, but she landed on the chair where I tossed her to, and she's back already. My youngest son turns 35 tomorrow. He's a Valentine's baby. Thank you. No, no. We live hours and hours away from each other. And he's not even talking to me right now. Oh, okay. Well, club him over the head and tell him to go to bed so he can come up. Oh, that's something to be sorry about. Oh, I remember Finger Hut from the 80s. When we lived in the barracks, that's we all were ordering Finger Hut crap for our barracks rooms. We all had our little coupons for our monthly payments. You know what though? I could swear I just got a Finger Hut magazine. That was that had to be like only months ago. No, Summer. I don't have a good relationship with either one of them. Here's Rosie Posey Schmitten kitten. Doesn't she just look like a Rosie Posey Schmitten kitten? I was saying at the beginning of the live, she got her name Rose because of the Titanic. Oriental trading is great if you're doing a party. You know what, Terry? It's because I was custodial parent and dad was Disney dad. Dad's also an abuser. And yeah, dad would do and say the exact opposite. And after the kids were adults, dad turned into Mr. Moneybags to the kids. And yeah, mom didn't play that game. And he still does that shit. You know, my kids are in their 30s and he still does that shit to them. And I don't play that game. So, you know, it's like they know I'm here. You know, they're my sons. I love them with all my heart. I love them for everything they are, but they're assholes. and they want to be that way. They'll figure it out eventually. I don't think I know ABC. No, it's nothing to be sorry about. You know, my oldest son also has an issue because his he broke up with his baby mama, my grandson's mom, and he has a really really bad relationship with her, and I get along with her really well. Um, and I do that to make sure that my grandson hears good things about his father, because she talks horribly about him, and she does it in front of my grandson, which really pisses me off. But she also makes sure that I see my grandson and have a relationship with him. So I'm very grateful for that. But the only time my grandson hears anything good about his father is from me. And my son, all he sees is also when my grandson was young for the first 5 years, he spent so much time with me. And his mom was able to go off and do whatever she wants. She'd gallivant around, go over where she wants. My son saw me as helping her out. Meanwhile, I'm looking at it as I'm getting every minute I can with my grandson, because once he starts school, I'm not going to hardly see him, because he'll be in school, and then he'll start making his own friends, and it won't be as cool to spend as much time with your Mimi, so I won't see him as often. Plus, he lives states away. So I spent every minute I could with him when I could. But my son saw it as, you're helping her out. You're helping her out. That's not what I was doing, And again, I'm also making sure that, my grandson knows his dad. So, my son's still pissed off at me for that. And, I'm like, whatever, you think what you want to think. He don't get it. And, his dad's also feeding him that information. But his dad didn't tell him that he's also helping her out, was also giving her money and helping her out because she needed money. I wasn't giving her money, but his dad, my ex, didn't tell that, he was helping her out with vehicle payments and stuff like that. But because I helped out with his son, my grandson, you know, I'm the bad guy. I can only imagine what my ex was telling him. So, oh, my grandson is the light of my life, and oh yeah, I have a fantastic relationship with my grandson. My son has had another child with his new girlfriend, and they've been together for a very long time. And I still haven't met my granddaughter. My grandson will call her when he's here on the iPad, and I'll talk with her on the iPad and everything, so she knows me and we talk and everything. But that only happens when my grandson's here and calls her, so and we talk that way. And my son will get on there, and we'll chit chat, so I mean, I don't not ever talk to him, and we'll talk, and we have good conversations, but it only happens when my grandson's here and he calls, and I don't tell my grandson, hey, call dad. He just does that. He just does it. And then since I'm there, he'll usually, hey, come on over. Talk, he'll like, Mimi, come on over, say hi. and then I come over and say hi, and then end up chit chatting with my granddaughter and my son at the same time. So I mean, we can talk, but it is what it is. And then I could see how my ex is an asshole. You know, grandson didn't want to go over there the one Christmas unless they would bring him home at the same night. And the ex was going to pick him up on his way into Pittsburgh. And since my grandson wasn't, didn't want to stay there the whole time, the ex threw a fit and was like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not picking him up. And just, abandoned him because God forbid he has to deal with any type of teenage issue now, and blew a gasket over it, and throws me into the mix, and I'm like, I'm not even there. I didn't say anything, but you're throwing me up in this, and it's just my ex is an asshole and a nightmare, and I get blamed for everything. Yep, they are. So, hi Betty, how are you feeling this evening? Hey, I'm going to switch to my avatar. Look, if that yellow screen is bothering anybody, I could switch it to the fireplace or something because that is rather bright. So if that bothers anybody, let me know. Yeah, I've got the best memories with my grandson. I was the first person that he ever caught a fish with because I'd take him fishing to our fishing ponds around here, doing all that cool stuff with them. Every bird that hatched in this house, he's handled. Did tons of cooking with him, had him working out in the garden. Oh, that's real good, Betty. I'm glad to hear that. They should be able to see through the lines, Terry, but Dad still funnels money to them. Money talks, and I don't play that game. Terry, you got to understand what my ex was like. You know, when the kids were still minors, he would take me to court to reduce his visitation with the boys. I wouldn't tell the kids what I was going to court for because it's none of their business. Okay. But he'd take me to court to reduce visitation. And then he'd turn around and say, yeah, your mom took me to court yesterday to reduce visitation, so I can't see you as much. That's what kind of son of a bitch he was. Mimis are the best. Yeah, that's what kind of son of a bitch he was. And then in court, and it went into court transcripts, he reduced visitation. His reason was is because I have a life. And then when it was his weekend, that he'd get the kids. He'd have them every other weekend. He tried to get the judge to make me babysit the kids if he had to work that weekend. And the judge even looked at him like, what the fuck are you talking about? The judge yelled at him like, no, it's not her weekend, it's your weekend, that's your responsibility. And he argued with the judge. He's like, but she doesn't work on that day. And the judge is like, it's too bad, it's not her weekend, your weekend, your responsibility. Oh, Brandy, man, the shit I went through with that man. If I lived closer to them, this rift wouldn't be there. But with me living out of state, it's easier for that rift to stay. So, you know, it is what it is. If I went there and knocked on their door, they would not turn me away. I mean, we're not like, it's not that bad. They would not turn me away, but with me being so far away, it's easy to just, not be present, if that makes sense. I did the same thing, Brandy. I stayed in a bad marriage for too long because I didn't want my kids to grow up without their dad like I did, and it was the wrong thing to do. It was the wrong thing to do. I stayed in it too long. And I fought to stay in it too. That then, making me even more stupid. But when I woke up, I woke up. So yeah, so I don't let it get to me. Exactly. I had to move my kids out of state to get the games to stop. Moving out of state, that stopped the visitation games, because he figured, he'd show up when he wanted to, drop off when he wanted to, play those games. But once I moved out of state, all of those games stopped. The rest of the games still were played. You know, the head games with the boys and stuff like that. You know, and doing the opposite and lack of support for anything. But the visitation games stopped, so that was half the battle. You know, but everything I went through with that, it's like, you know, I've been living single since 2000. I'm like, I'll never put myself in that situation again. Mm-mm. My ex-husband's Venezuelan. Oh, I can look back now and I could say that we never should have married, but you know, I married I married for safety, you know, with the way things were in the Marine Corps in the 80s. Um, it was the safety thing. You know, all the red flags were there before we got married, but he was still safer than not being married. How pathetic is that? So, but anyway, yeah. And I'd like to say the nightmare's over, but you know, we'll always share kids and now grandchildren. You know, and now he's starting to play games with you know, little games with you know, my grandson. You know, I still would not be in a room alone with him. But anyway, let's talk about something happier, something more pleasant. So, what's something more pleasant to talk about? I'm going to put the fireplace up. Those bananas seem to be excitable. There we go. Those bananas were a little excitable, I think. I think we hide a lot from our kids, but I think our kids see a lot more than what we think they do. We do have quite a few bush watchers, but we always do. We always do. I didn't change the title of tonight's live, and tonight's live was titled before we had yesterday's live. So I guess they expected something different. But we tend to never really know what's going to pop off in here. It's Friday night. Anything can go off in here. So, Terry, if you said it, I missed it. What did you end up making for dinner? Oh, and did you figure out how to get that video uploaded? I understand that, Brandy. Like I said, I've been single since 2000. I've had some partners in there, and one that was long term and wanted to go further, but nah. So it was a fridge night. That's a good way to end the week. Now, I had a bad childhood too. And ironically enough, that's why I joined the military, to get away from that. And then, had some not pleasant things happen in there too. And they have found out, and I learned this through all my PTSD groups. They found out that a lot of people joined the military to escape abusive home lives. And that contributed to a lot of problems. So, and that's how they tacked on the C to my PTSD. Oh, I'm kind of chuckling at that, Terry, because I was already in my 50s when I found out my real dad had another kid out there floating around that he didn't even know he had. The C for in CPTSD means complex. So I have multiple traumas that created my PTSD. For a lot of different reasons, Terry. Mine's because my mother's boyfriend was a pedophile. Terry did all the talking last night, Brandy. That was all Terry. So thank you, Terry. Oh, my. Stretch. Oh, I rewatched the miniseries Chernobyl on HBO. I had forgotten how good that show was. You know, because we're coming up on 30 years. Yeah, 30 years since Chernobyl blew. April will be 30 years. I don't know if it's a bad delay or if Brandy is still catching up on the stream. Because Brandy came in a little bit later. So that's pretty far behind. Well, not pretty far. What are you trying to tell me? Huh? I got to get you those talking buttons, don't I? Do you need talking buttons? Would you figure out how to use them? Yeah, you'd probably find the ones with all the cuss words on it and call me names, wouldn't you? Yeah, I knew it. Well, talking about it is how I deal with it. You know, I didn't know I had it until I finally blew, and I legitimately thought I was going crazy. You know, it felt like I had a million ping pongs bouncing around in my head, and every time one would bounce, it was like an explosion going on in there. I didn't know what was going on. You know, my everything was just exploding around me, and um, I went to a therapist, and therapist said it sounded like PTSD, and then stopped working, and then I went to the VA, and that's when they seriously started talking PTSD. And I finally got in with a good therapist up there, and I was not a therapy person, but when I started, they started getting me to open up a little bit, and then they started putting things together and figuring out things, and I started opening up more, and then admitting things that I haven't admitted for decades, and the pieces fell into place. And then there was no doubt. It's like, yeah, you're a PTSD vet. my mother's boyfriend, she was having an affair with him for years before we moved in with him when I was 12. And he was in my room the first night we moved in with him. But there was shenanigans going on before that. But when you're young, you don't realize what it is. And because he was always over the house, he was I'm air quoting here, friends. My stepdad, I don't think he realized what was going on at the time. And then when she separated from him, and then all of a sudden we're moving in with the pedo. Yep. And every time I'd try to say something or tell someone in the family, I'd get the living shit beat out of me. No, I haven't done the writing and burning. Yeah, it's amazing. I didn't grow up to be a criminal, a drunk, or a street urchin. Instead, I escaped and made something of myself. Get out of there. Get, Rosie, get, go, get, 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 get. If you knock my laptop down, get. No, the show, um, Chernobyl is about the Chernobyl nuclear plant that that um that had its meltdown. April will be 30 years since the meltdown. The show's been on HBO. I think it came out just a couple years ago. I watched it when it first came out, but I just rewatched it again a little bit last night, and then the rest of it earlier today. I think it's 6 episodes, but it's a show. It's a docu series type thing. About how it unfolded and stuff. The VA took my therapist away. Bastards. Yeah, when I first went to the VA for mental health care, they over medicated me and had me to where I was like a zombie drooling on myself. And I'm like, no, this is not going to work. That's no quality of life. And yeah, and I gave it a fair shake because I know medications take time to work, but the cocktail was crazy. Like, oh, well, oh, you have this going on, so well, we'll add this to it and we'll change this and we'll up that and come back, in a month, and then, oh, you got this going on now. Okay, so we'll change this and we'll add this in, and it was just a crazy, crazy cocktail, and it was always changing. And literally, I'd come home and all I'd want to do is sit on the couch and drool on myself. And I'm like, this is crazy. And they weren't listening to what I'm saying about it. And I'm like, you can't tell me you know me better than me. And I'm not stupid. I know how medications work. You know, I've given them time to give a fair shake. I'm tired of cocktails. You're playing a guessing game with my life. And they just frustrated me. So I gave them the big FU and went off of everything. And I think they put me into sertraline syndrome, with too much sertraline, and, some of the medications acted as an antagonist to others and stuff. But, I went off of everything, and kept deteriorating because I was in active bad PTSD. I mean, I had literally totally, totally, totally fractured. And then I was up at the VA for another appointment, and just broke down. It's like, I need help. And they sent me to see another therapist. And one of my other vet friends had recommended her. And I had mentioned her name, so they let me see her. And I started talking to her for a bit. And then she's not one who deals with my type of trauma, what caused mine. She has a different specialty. So they transferred me to somebody else. And I remember being pissed. I was pissed. And because it's like, oh yeah, here I am. You're shitting on me. I'm getting transferred. Oh, I was livid. And the day I had to meet the new therapist, oh, I'm giving her the third degree, and cold shoulder. I mean, she knew I was pissed. I made it clear I was pissed without saying I was pissed, but I listened to what she had to say. I answered her questions, pissed off. You should have read the fucking chart before you called me, yada, yada, yada. Oh yeah, I was brutal. I was an asshole. I was brutal. I was pissed off, but she didn't give up on me. We kept talking. And eventually I realized, I'm not having a hard time talking to her. She's not giving up on me. Maybe she's worth trying to talk to a little more. And she ended up and it also ended up being that she was the head doctor for the department. She was the head psychologist for the department. And I saw her for I forget how many visits now, but I saw her for over 2 years, once a week for over 2 years, until the VA changed their policy that vets are only allowed to see a therapist for a maximum of 12 weeks at a time now. And then the VA changed that policy nationwide. Vets can only see a therapist for a maximum of 12 weeks. And then that's it. And to get a therapist now, you have to go through your primary. They'll do a little interview with you, and then they'll send you to talk to a therapist they have there at the primary level. The therapist will talk to you, a couple times, and then, they'll make a decision on whether or not they should send you up for additional therapy. Then you'll get referred up to a specialty therapist, and then they'll do another evaluation on you to determine if you should be seen again for a maximum of 12 visits. But there's no guarantee that you'll see the same therapist that you might have seen before. And that's the only way you can get therapy at the VA now. And my therapist, as head of the department, she was so pissed off that they did this that she's like, you know what? I'm right at the point of retirement. She decided to retire, and that was her way of letting them know that she was pissed off. And the VA is already short of therapists anyway. And she was so pissed off that they did that upper management that's not even part of the department was able to make policy on how their veterans are able to be seen and treated that need therapy. And without having a therapist, I admit it's been a struggle. I have some days that are a struggle, but with all the coursework that I did and all the PTSD groups and the programs that I did for PTSD, they gave me a lot of tools to work with. But there are some times where it's still a struggle. Because PTSD never goes away. Especially when you've had it untreated for so long. Because I had it for decades untreated. Just as it's starting to get leveled off is when they pulled the therapist out from under me. So it's never going to go away. The best I could hope for is to manage it. Yeah. Well, I'm managing it without medications because after they over medicated me and stuff, I'm like, you are not going to do that to me again. That's how stubborn I am. So I'm managing without medications. So, when I say some days are a struggle, I'm managing that struggle from an unmedicated position. And I'm rather proud that I haven't killed anybody. That's a little bit of a joke. Well, no, that's more than a little bit of a joke. That's a lot of a joke. But And that is actually more of a credit to the amount of work I put in with all the coursework and stuff. That's no small feat. Yeah, when she left the VA, she did give me her personal number. So I do know that if I went into a crisis mode, besides having the VA's hotline number, I do know that I can call her. But that is, to me, that would have to be a last resort. I would not want to do that to her. She's 100% civilian now. I would not want to do that to her. So are you going to watch Chernobyl? Hey, all you bush watchers, haven't you figured out tonight's not a drama night? Oh man. Oh, we just dropped below freezing. Well, I think between tonight and tomorrow morning, I have got to finish up. I have been lollygagging on finishing up that one damn scarf. The gray and black one with the crocodile stitch. I've shown it a few times on stream. Let me pull it out. And I will show y'all. Put this ball of yarn in here. Get that out of the way. Oops. Put that in the bag. Here. Hey, Kenergy. I'm not going to be on here much longer, Terry. I was just saying that I have been lollygagging on this last project here. And I've got to get this done so you guys can see the finished project. I don't want to lose my stitches here, but I am almost done with it. Let me see. Almost done. I just need to, well, you know what? You know what? I think I am done. You know what? I think I am done. I just got to finish off the last row here and then put it together. And I think I am done. So I think tomorrow night, or not tomorrow night, because I think I'm going to take tomorrow off. But I think the next live, I will be able to show you this completed project. And you can already tell that it is not an octopus. It's not a crocodile, even though I'm using what some people will call the crocodile stitch. It is not an octopus. It is not a squid. Anybody want to guess what it is? And I'm not going to show you all of it, but there's a part of something that gets connected to it. There's a little part of it. Ooh. I might not even sleep tonight now that I realize that I am just about done. I did not realize that. I thought I had more to go than that. Oh, I'm excited now. Okay, Terry, before you go. Terry, you still here? I need some ideas on what other fun thing I can crochet again. I gotta have something else fun and whimsical. Something big and whimsical. Big, bold, and whimsical. something that's not, that I do regularly on the stream. And I still got to do photos of my hats to put up on shorts. Hi, Rosie. There's Rosie Posey Schmitten Kitten. Rosie, I got to make you a new collar, baby girl. You're getting too big for your collar. So, okay. Well, we hit the 2-hour mark. And tonight was a quiet night, just a lot of chit-chatting. And don't want to strain my cords. So, yeah, I definitely think I'm gonna take tomorrow night off. Maybe I'll finally be able to get a couple reviews done that I need to do. Maybe. And figure out how to do my little 100 sub. Oh, it's not done yet, Brandy. Just wait. But I got to figure out how to what to do for to celebrate that I've got 100 subs. And I would expect that I'll be here Sunday night. So keep an eye out for that. And on that note, I am going to say good night. So thank you for being here. Brandy, it's a pleasure. I'm so glad you were here. Kenergy, thank you very much for being here, for popping in at the end, bringing up the rear. We love that. Terry, thank you for being here. Betty, I hope you're feeling better. Get a good night's rest. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. You all go out and enjoy too much candy. Get some for yourself. And did I miss anybody? Summer, you have a wonderful day. And I keep thinking I'm missing somebody. I'm going back to double look real quick. Keep thinking I'm missing somebody else that was in here. It was here earlier, but is not now. Shelly, thank you for popping in. Heather, thank you. And I think that was everybody that popped in this evening. So thank you very, very much for being here. It was much appreciated. And I will see you all most likely Sunday night. But, I post, let you all know. So again, thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening and happy Valentine's Day. Good night.